Hello everyone, my name is Elliot Geltz, and today I have a very special video for you. Something we have not done before, something very experimental for the channel, but we're going to try our best, and I hope you like it. This is a scene from 2006's The Breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston. It is a very interesting movie, something that gripped a lot of people when it first came out, for reasons I will get into later in the video. And this scene in particular stood out to audiences everywhere. And I think it is something worth going back and taking a look at for anyone that, oh god, I'm getting old, for anyone that wasn't born at this time, or for anyone that missed it, or anything like that. So this is the upload to YouTube by YouTuber Hannah, done 9 years ago. Oh dear, it's still up. So we're going to take advantage of that to record here. We're going to take a look at the scene, and I'm going to talk about just what's going on with the two characters as the scene progresses. So, let's get started.
Oh, no, no, my demo!
Well, I'm gonna go do the dishes.
Cool.
It'd be nice if you helped me.
No problem. We'll get them a little bit later. I'm just gonna hit the streets here for a little bit.
Gary, come on. I don't want to do them later. Let's just do them now. Take 15 minutes.
Oh, I am so exhausted. I just honestly want to relax for a little bit. If I could just sit here, let my food digest.
So we're going to cut in now. So we're obviously starting long after the movie has actually started, but our scene here is set up. These two are a couple, and they just had a dinner party with their friends. Jennifer Aniston is, I'm just going to call them by their actors' names, by the way. Jennifer Aniston is very frustrated with her boyfriend Vince Vaughn for multiple reasons that will become apparent as the scene progresses. But this is kind of the, I don't know how to describe it, the beginning of the end. You can tell very easily by her body language, her gesticulations, her tone. She is very fed up and frustrated, and this is a last straw moment for her. Vince Vaughn, however, is oblivious to just all of this. He is very focused in what he's doing, the video game. I would like to point out, I don't know if this was the intent of the movie makers, but what he's playing is Grand Theft Auto, I believe San Andreas. This is a single player game that can easily just be paused and stopped so that you can go do something else and then come back to it and continue playing without any issue. So our scene is she wants help doing dishes. She has vocalized as such, she has made it clear with her body language and tone that she is dealing with a lot and this is very important to her. And Vince Vaughn very briefly glances at her before making excuses to continue doing something he could put down, help her, and then come back and readily pick back up. So right out the gate, this is our first grievance between the two. And I think the vast majority of people would agree she is very justified in being upset with him. So, continuing the scene.
Just and just try to enjoy the quiet for a little bit. Get some, get some, get some. That's what happens. And we will, we can clean the dishes tomorrow.
Gary, you know I don't like waking up to a dirty kitchen.
Who cares?
I care, all right? I care. I busted my ass all day cleaning this house and then cooking that meal, and I worked today. It would be nice if you said thank you and helped me with the dishes.
Fine. I'll help you do the damn dishes.
Oh, come on. You know what? No, that's not what I want.
You just said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes?
So, cutting back in now. This is the crux of the scene. We're seeing it first here. It's going to repeat throughout the scene. Jennifer Aniston wants to feel appreciated. That's the crux of her character right now. She feels underappreciated by her boyfriend and wants him to display some level of affection and appreciation for how much work she's put in taking care of their home, setting up the dinner party they just had in the previous scene, and all of that. Vince Vaughn is kind of dense here. Not him as a person, I mean the character. He asks, why would I want to do dishes? Because he's only seeing it superficially as the chore that has to be done. He's not seeing the deeper layer of his girlfriend wanting appreciation. She's not asking him to want to engage in manual labor that most find tedious and boring and a chore. She's asking him to want to do the dishes for her. That's the important thing here. So, continuing with the scene.
Why?
See, that's my whole point.
Let me see if I'm following this, okay? Are you telling me that you're upset because I don't have a strong desire to clean dishes?
No, I'm upset because you don't have a strong desire to offer to do the dishes.
I just did.
After I asked you.
Jesus, Brooke, you're acting crazy again.
Don't you call me crazy. I am not crazy.
I didn't call you crazy.
Just
I didn't
did.
call you crazy. No, I didn't. I said you're acting crazy.
You know what, Gary? I asked you to do one thing today.
So, coming back in, Vince Vaughn just really bumbles it here as far as the boyfriend goes. Jennifer Aniston is making it very clear the thing she wants is appreciation, like I just said, and that she has made clear for the past minute and a half that the scene has been going on. He's still not getting that, even when she says it to his face. Then he calls her crazy. Ignore him mincing words. He did call her crazy. And then he tries to get defensive and engage in legalese to say, no, I said you're acting crazy. Vince, so if you're ever in a fight with your significant other, semantics like that go out the window. It doesn't matter what specifically you said. What matters is the meaning you sent to your partner. So if you say something like you're acting crazy, don't get lawyery when they get upset because you called them crazy, because you did. That's another thing he drops the ball on here, and another grievance she's justified in having.
One very simple thing to bring me 12 lemons, and you brought me 3.
Damn it, if I knew that it was going to be this.
To specify what she means there, earlier prior to the dinner party, they were preparing for the dinner party, and Jennifer Aniston had asked him to go out and get 12 lemons for the sake of making a centerpiece that is very stylish and photogenic she had seen, I believe, on the internet. And he had returned with 3 and made a bunch of excuses as to why he only had 3, like the store only had 3 and other things. Once again, fumbling. I have personally gone out for my significant other to get them something. And when the place I go to doesn't have everything they need, I go to another place. That's, if you're going to offer to go get someone something, it's expected you go get it. It's not expected that you try one place and then give up. And that's exactly what he did earlier, leaving her to very comedically just make do with what she had.
This much trouble, I would have brought home 24 lemons. Even 100 lemons. You know what I wish? I wish everyone that was at that goddamn table had their own little private bag of lemons.
It's not about the lemons.
Well, that's all you're talking about.
So I like to point out, he doesn't say he would do it for his girlfriend. He doesn't say he would do it for the lady he loves. He says he would do it if he knew it was trouble. That's very cutting. It's something he's saying in the heat of the moment, but that doesn't matter. It's very cutting to say to his girlfriend's face that he wouldn't do it for her, as made clear earlier when he didn't do it for her. But he says he would do it if he knew trouble was going to occur because of it. So that's a very oof moment for Vince Vaughn's relationship with Jennifer Aniston. And it's the main reason things are escalating here, is he just said to her face, she's not important enough to him to do something so simple as go get a bunch of lemons. But it is important enough to not have a fight. That's digging the hole deeper on his part.
Saying it'd be nice if you did things that I asked. It would be even nicer if you did things without me having to ask you.
Well, I do seem to remember doing something for you this morning without you asking.
Gary, come on.
What? I'm
You know what?
serious.
No, I'm
Come here.
serious.
I am
I
too.
really.
This is so the part of the reason this movie is so fondly remembered and it shook a lot of people was we had for a long time been seeing an oversaturation of romantic comedies, movies that flaunted how real relationships work for the sake of making a narrative that was fun and still gripping to the heart and all of that for a long time. I don't. If I wanted to throw a year on it, I would say we have been seeing that for a decade and a half, like since before I was personally born. And obviously, romantic comedies have always been a thing in modern cinema, but the market was really oversaturated with them. So for a movie to come in and show this very realistic depiction of a couple fighting, it shook a lot of people. They were not ready for that. Even with the movie being called The Breakup, things getting this raw was unexpected. So for the scene to play out like this, the way it is, and then all of a sudden Vince Vaughn tries to turn the conversation from the very sincere and real and important problems being discussed to ha 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 sexy time, which would be played as just a joke in a romantic comedy. And then Jennifer Aniston responds in a very realistic way where it just makes her madder. It doesn't diffuse the situation at all. That got a lot of people. Continuing with the scene.
Anne, come on. You knew I was working today and I made that meal, and you could have thought to yourself, you know, you could have said, I think I'm going to get Brooke some flowers.
You said on our very first date that you don't like flowers, that they're a waste of money.
Every girl likes flowers, Gary.
You said.
So, this is something I see a lot of people that don't have a great deal of experience in relationships struggle with. Not that I'm some love guru expert on relationships or anything, but whenever I see people only in the first few years of dating talk about this, they say something along the lines of, my girlfriend wanted me to do something, but I didn't know she wanted that. And then she got mad at me because I wasn't psychic and guessed that she wanted me to do that. That she was acting crazy, taking Vince Vaughn's page. And when you don't have a lot of experience, that's what this sentiment can seem like. But that's not what's going on. What Jennifer Aniston is expressing in the scene is the want for your partner to take the initiative and do something for your sake without being asked for it. This is something a lot of people want out of a relationship. They want a partner that is considerate enough to, of their own accord, do things for their partner's benefit. That was a lot of back and forth in point of view. I'm sorry for that. But it's not wanting your partner to be psychic. It's wanting them to be considerate and have some foresight and look at the day you're having and think to themselves, X or Y thing I could do would be beneficial to them. How important this is to a person, how much patience they have in helping their partner get that, that varies from person to person. But this is a very general thing that people in relationships want and need. So Vince Vaughn is going to act as if his girlfriend is crazy for wanting this and expects him to be psychic, and that's not the case at all. However, we're now going to switch gears and talk about Vince Vaughn's point of view and some grievances he does get to have. As you see here, she says she would like for him to buy her flowers sometimes, and he points out that on their very first date, she said she doesn't like flowers. And in a very sarcastic tone, she responds, every girl likes flowers. And so what's being expressed here is not that every girl likes flowers, but every girl likes what I just described, the sentiment of a partner bringing them a gift or doing something for them of their own volition to express appreciation and love. Flowers being one of the most common examples of this. That's what she means. But Vince Vaughn raises a very legitimate point that She said to his face with her own words, she doesn't like flowers. So now, everything she's expressing has to be filtered through this, what looks like contradiction to Vince Vaughn. It looks, from his point of view, as if he can't take everything his girlfriend is saying just at face value, which he can't. Jennifer Aniston is struggling to express some very intense, involved, and complicated things about relationships, and just both in the heat of the moment because she's upset and because these things are complicated, doesn't really have the vocabulary or expression to properly express the intricacies of what she means. So, between seeming like she's contradicting herself and not fully expressing everything going on, it can seem as if he has to jump through hoops and interpret what she's saying, which he does. That's human communication. But even when she's upset, it could be said that she could express what she's looking for and what she wants a little bit better. She seems like she's contradicting herself. She seems like she's bouncing around and not staying on any particular topic when she really is. It's just that there's a lot going on with this feeling. It could really benefit the situation if she went, okay, look, stop and listen to me, and calmly and thoroughly explained what it is she's looking for and how complicated it is. Now, does that fall exclusively on her? No. Vince Vaughn could have been a good boyfriend and gone to a different Walmart to get her the fucking lemon she wanted. But at the same time, this is a relationship. It is comprised of two people. And sometimes, when your partner makes you mad, that's not a ticket to carte blanche, behave however you want, and they just have to deal with it and interpret what you mean. You still have a responsibility to communicate how you feel and what you need. Sometimes going more than halfway to make sure your partner understands. But he should have just gotten her the fucking lemons. That falls on him. And now, another thing I want to engage with her. She is being very withdrawn and defensive. You can see throughout the scene, when I don't have it paused, on Jennifer Aniston looking the most stressed out she's ever been in her life. She is constantly walking away from him, walking away from him, turning away from him, not looking at him as she speaks, engaging in other things. It's very clear she's feeling both the need to communicate to him, this is why you fucked up, and also disengaging to sort out her feelings and calm down. And these two things occurring at the same time, without giving to one or the other fully, makes for this very back and forth skirmishing conversation. It means she's not fully investing in what she's saying and making herself clear, and at the same time, not fully withdrawing to calm down like she very clearly needs. And on top of that, not expressing to Vince Vaughn, look, I need some time away, give me a sec to calm down, or, look, engage with me and let's sort this out. If she wants time away to just get the damn dishes done to get them out of the way, so that she has time apart to calm down, or if she wants to engage with him and sort out these issues before dealing with everything else, that should really be communicated and invested on and done. Her skirmishing away, coming back to snipe at him and engage in the fight, and then skirmishing away again, that's not very healthy communication, and it's definitely not helping. Once again, he should have just got her the fucking lemons. But her behavior here of this very back and forth engagement in the conversation and not fully communicating with them, that's not helping the situation either. And as dense as Vince Vaughn is, or at least his character is in the scene, it's really not helping when she should know full well he's not going to fully understand what she means. So, continuing with the scene now that I've said all that.
That you don't like flowers. I'm supposed to take that to mean that you do like flowers?
No, this is not about. You're not getting it. You're not getting this, Gary. Okay, it's not about the lemons. It's not about the flowers. It's not about the dishes. It's just. How many times do I have to drop hints about the ballet?
You know I can't stay. Brooke, come here. We talked about the damn ballet.
I love the face Vince Vaughn's making there. The ballet is something Jennifer Aniston has hinted at earlier in the movie that she would like to go to with Gary, but he expresses disdain for it because he thinks it's boring. We're going to see how this affects their relationship now, and we are off to a fantastic start.
I hate the goddamn ballet. You got a bunch of dudes in tights flopping around for 3 hours. It's like a medieval techno show. It's a nightmare. I sit there in the sweat. The whole thing. I do. Wondering when the hell's the goddamn nightmare gonna end? Go to a damn ballet.
It's not about you loving the ballet, Gary. It's about the person that you love loves the ballet, and you wanting to spend time with that person.
Not when they're at the ballet.
Okay, forget the ballet. Forget the ballet. We don't go anywhere together.
We just went to Ann Arbor together.
To Ann Arbor, to the Michigan Notre Dame game. You think screaming drunk kids and leprechauns doing backflips, that's fun. That's fun for me. Come on, man. I did that for you. How do you show up for me?
I'm up on the bus.
I am making it my goal throughout this video to pause on the best faces possible, and I am succeeding. So this is, once again, something a lot of couples struggle with. Jennifer Aniston very clearly likes the ballet, while Vince Vaughn doesn't. Vince Vaughn is a sports fan, while Jennifer Aniston isn't. Jennifer Aniston goes to sports games with Vince Vaughn despite not particularly enjoying it because she wants to spend time with him because she loves him. That's something more or less expected of a relationship, that sometimes you will have to engage in events or activities you may not find the most riveting or exciting or enjoyable for the sake of spending time with your loved one. That doesn't mean you have to do everything they love that you don't with them. Just that sometimes it is nice for them or for their benefit that you do so. How much, how often, what that entails specifically, that's for a couple to discuss and work out for themselves. But here we see Jennifer Aniston has put that into the relationship while Vince Vaughn hasn't. He's not willing to sit through a ballet recital she would like to see, while she's willing to sit through sports games that he wants to see. And she feels that that's unfair, having expressed this very clearly. This is the big twist. That thing I said earlier about her not expressing herself, that stops here. From here on out through the fight, she is fed up, she has snapped, and any pretense or trying too hard to communicate has gotten out of the way. And now she's communicating very clearly. The unfairness she's feeling right there said straight to his face.
Every goddamn day for you.
Come on,
I'm busting my ass to be the best tour guide in the damn city so I can make enough money to support both of us, and hopefully you won't have to work one day.
I want to work.
All I ask, Brooke, is that you show a little bit of appreciation.
So, Vince Vaughn's character is a tour bus guide. He sits on top of a tour bus all day as it drives through their city, and he points out things of interest and talks with tourists that take the tour. Jennifer Aniston is, I don't know, I think she's a real estate agent or something like that. Some kind of officey job. It's been a while since I've watched the full movie. But anyway, Vince Vaughn is expressing something very clear here. He works to support them in their lifestyle and their survival, and he would like to feel appreciated for it, and he doesn't. That's entirely fair. This is something a lot of people feel in a relationship at one point or another, that the work they do to support themselves and their partner isn't appreciated. So, this is kind of a two-sided sword. Vince Vaughn can feel justified in feeling this way. However, he's only revealing this after this fight that has, for the sake of an outside viewer weighing in, mostly been justified on Jennifer Aniston's behalf. Vince Vaughn has screwed up a lot, and she has rights to feel aggrieved. It seems as if Vince Vaughn is only expressing this because her upsettedness makes him feel unappreciated. He feels that because she has issues with him, that means she doesn't appreciate the work he does. That's unfair. It can be very cutting to tell a person that their feelings aren't valid, but Vince Vaughn's feelings are not valid here. To put it very flatly, he only feels unappreciated because she's expressing grievances, but she's entirely in the right to feel those grievances. Just because he works to pay their bills does not mean she's not allowed to take umbrage with him at any point ever, regardless of what he does.
But I just get 20 minutes to relax when I come home instead of being attacked with questions and nag the whole damn time.
You think that I nag you?
I'm just going to throw some advice out there to any youngsters engaging in their first dalliances with romance for the first time. Do not ever use the word nag. Do not ever. There's a list of words you should strike from your vocabulary the moment you start dating somebody. Nag is one of them. Even if you feel like that, even if you feel like your partner nags you, there are much, much better ways to express that. And this ties back to what I said earlier, in that Jennifer Aniston is struggling to express herself. When you're upset with your partner and you are trying to communicate why you are upset, always take a step back, take a deep breath, and reflect on what would be the most effective way of expressing your feelings. Not that you need to coddle and baby your partner and say things in the way they like best. That's not what this is. Think of it like a task to be done. Think of what will be most efficient in accomplishing this. It's not that you have to treat them with kid gloves and avoid mean words to avoid hurting their feelings. It's that you are trying to accomplish something. You are trying to get done the task of taking information in your brain and putting it in their brain through the complex, complicated, and difficult art of human communication. Think of what would most efficiently accomplish that goal. That's the best way to think of it if you struggle with this. It's not that you need to avoid certain things because your partner's a delicate little snowflake that has to be treated with kid gloves. It's that you are doing a job. What is the best way to get that job done? It can be very difficult. It can be very difficult to keep that in mind when you're in the middle of being upset with your partner. But for both the sakes of your relationship and for the sake of your own welfare and your partner's welfare, for the sake of everyone involved, it is always best to just reel it back, calm down, and think of what will most effectively communicate what you need to tell your partner. The word nag will never be a part of that.
That's all you do. All you do is nag me. The bathroom's a mess. Your belt doesn't match. Hey, Gary, you should probably go work out. Nothing I ever do is ever good enough.
So we're going to cut Vince Vaughn's tirade just a little in half. This is clearly... This backpedals on something I said earlier, that Vince Vaughn clearly feels aggrieved because Jennifer Aniston has grievances with him. These are things that have been happening for a while now. These are feelings that have been building up. And some things, like the bathroom that he mentions, is a repetitive pattern that we can now build. Jennifer Aniston feels Vince Vaughn doesn't appreciate her because he doesn't take the initiative to do things. This leads to her asking him to do things. This leads to him feeling like she's nagging him because she's always asking him to do things. There are a lot of steps here where both of them could have done something differently to stop this from getting to the point where it's at now. Jennifer Aniston could have, before the goddamn lemons caused all of this, Jennifer Aniston could have sat her boyfriend down and said, hey, I feel like you don't appreciate me because you never take the initiative to do things for me, and I would like it if you took the initiative to do things, such as the bathroom. If you could do it of your own volition and not have me ask you to, that would be nice. They could have had that conversation. I've had that conversation, and I've had partners have that conversation with me. And this prevented the police being called. It saves your relationship when you have these discussions before emotions boil over. And both of them could have. I just now look back at the screen. I am 3 for 3 on Vince Vaughn faces. Both of them could have sat down and had discussions about these feelings before things exploded. However, even looking at the pattern of things he is aggrieved over, we can see Jennifer Aniston still being justified in some things, like chores being done around the house, between the bathroom, as mentioned in the past tense, and the dishes that started off this scene at the beginning. It is very clear that the division of household labor is not even, and that's something they need to sit down and both have a discussion on, and then both of them need to act on a day-to-day basis. So, getting back to the scene.
I just want to be left the hell alone.
Oof. Biggest of oofs. Now Vince Vaughn is doing what Jennifer Aniston did. He is expressing something but not taking the time to really reflect on what he's saying and how he means it. And it is just a disaster. It is the final nail in the coffin for any chance of this fight de-escalating and them actually communicating what they need. What he means is he wants to be able to disengage and have time to himself when he wants it. This is something, like I've said several times now, a lot of couples struggle with. To put words in his mouth, it seems as if Vince Vaughn wants to be able to do things on his own timetable. He would do the dishes, clean the bathroom, etc., if he could do those things as he did when he was single, when he could just flagrantly leave it as it is so he can play video games and whatnot, or watch his sport games, or do whatever. He would like to be able to leave those things as a mess he can tolerate until he is ready to do them. However, he is living with another person who has her own standards of cleanliness and wanting to get things done at a schedule that is different from his. This is one of the big labors of a relationship, is your schedule of when you do things around your house relative to when you spend your relaxation time versus your partner's. That needs to be communicated on and then adjusted. It is very unlikely you're going to date anybody that operates on the exact same timetable as you. And compromises need to be made in this regard. However, Vince Vaughn has been unwilling to compromise in that respect and is now upset that he has to. That, on its own, not particularly great. Not a very nice thing to feel, let alone express. But that's something they could sit down, talk about, work out. He might come to realize, oh, I'm being a dick, I should stop that, and all of that. But that boat has sailed. He has now, it not only sailed, he sunk it himself by expressing it in this manner. It really seems like he wants to break up. His phrasing, his anger, all of it makes it feel more like he would just rather not bother with the relationship. And that is exactly what Jennifer Aniston takes away. Which, I just want to say, these two are phenomenal actors. I know, Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn aren't going to make a lot of people's top actors list. They readily make mine, especially Vaughn. He is a fantastic drama actor. And I kind of... It makes me feel bad that he didn't get more dramatic roles over the course of his career. He absolutely knocks it out of the park. And it kind of sucks that Jennifer Aniston as well. is mostly known for Friends, other rom-com roles, when she is also just an utterly fantastic dramatic actress. I just wanted to express that because this is easily one of the best movies either of them ever done, and they are fantastic in this role.
Really? Is that what you want, Gary? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
That's what you want?
Yeah.
Fine, great. Do whatever the hell you want. You leave your socks all over this house, dress like a pig, play your stupid ass video game. I don't care. I'm done.
What?
I am done. I don't deserve this. I really do not deserve this. I deserve somebody who gives a shit. I'm not spending one more second of this life with some inconsiderate prick. You're a prick.
Nope. I accidentally restarted it. So that's just the cherry on top. There's not a whole lot to break down there. I will point out it kind of her point falls flat when she says he dresses like a pig when he is wearing a dress shirt and slacks that are very neatly pressed and go well together. I do believe, if I remember correctly, that ties back into a earlier scene where he was not as well put together. This scene on its own, that can seem kind of weird when she says that and immediately cuts to him looking rather nice, actually. But yeah, that's just everything blowing up. There's not a lot to get into there. They've both resigned themselves from trying to resolve the argument, and now things have entirely fallen apart. So, this scene is only 4.5 minutes long. This recording, as you're about to see me bring up Audacity, has been 37 minutes long. So you can see why this movie really stuck out to a lot of people when it released in 2006. There was a lot to get into with it. There was a lot to get into with the characters as they are written, and just how realistic and gritty this writing is. I know most people associate terminology like that with, like, I don't know, Justice League Injustice or Zack Snyder films, or I don't know, a very superficial understanding of realistic. When this is realistic, I've had fights like this. I've been in the room as couples had fights like this. This is a real lived experience. That last final tirade Jennifer Aniston has at the end, was it Brad Pitt? Was it who did she really say that to in her personal life? Because that comes from a real personal place. That's what made this movie special. That's what made the scene special. That's what made the performances of Vaughn and Aniston special from this movie. This was real life put up on the big screen, and that touched something for a lot of people. We are coming up on 20 years old. This movie is in just a couple years, and I'm still thinking about it. Apparently, other people are still thinking about it because I'm going to scroll down outside what the thing is recording. People are still leaving comments on YouTuber Hannah's upload of this 9 years after it was put up, almost 20 years after the movie was made. So yeah, I hope that I didn't make this to come off like, oh, I'm a super expert on relationships. That was not the point of this. The point of this was to show off something really special that touched a lot of people. And I hope that you go and give this movie a watch if you've never seen it. It's a fantastic, I wouldn't say a date night movie. Don't watch this movie if these are issues you're having in your relationship. Watch this movie with your significant other if you're in a good place in your relationship. If you've sat down and sorted out your issues and you're both feeling into it, that's the time to watch this movie, so that you can watch their relationship from the outside and go, oh, that sucks. But yeah, this is The Breakup from 2006. I have talked about it for well over half an hour, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this little video I made. Thank you very much, and I will see you later.